second very important thing is, which actually gives a basis for his, I say, atheism also. There is a last message from Guru Tegh Bahadur to Guru Gobind Singh, which is the last page and the last verse of the Guru Granth Sahib, because it was re-edited by Guru Gobind Singh. And that message says, Bal shutkyo bandhan pade, kishu na ho to paye. That if you are powerless, bal shoot gaya, that means you are not having power, then you are in bondage. You cannot do anything. And then the story is narrated that in the past there was a struggle between a crocodile and elephant. And finally, the elephant's comrades were there till they had a hope that he will, because these are two strong people fighting. But when they found that he is not able to escape, they also left. But then he is left only with prayer. That if you are a weak person, you are only left with prayer. But the next one is operative. Bal hua, bandhan shoote, sab kuch ho to paye. Nanak, tumre haath mein, tum hi hoye sahay. That means if you are powerful, then all bondage will be, you can liberate yourself from. Nanak's advice is that you have not to depend on anybody's. You will be your own defense and your own power. And that is the atheism. That instead of going and bending to somebody, you empower yourself. And the Bhagat Singh repeated this in Manifesto of Naujawan Bharat Sabha in a different way. Most important is the document which these days must be reread, is his Manifesto of Naujawan Bharat Sabha. He says that our struggle is two-faced. One is against our own weaknesses, which are being exploited by own selfish people also, and the enemy also. And the second is the exploiter. So that has come from here. What makes you Balwan, what empowers you, is taking over your weaknesses. That if you rise above your weaknesses, only then you become empowered. So that means that there is so much intermixing between the spirituality and religiosity, and that is what I say, that we'll come to the next phase. The post Jallianwala Bagh, there is a lot of search. What could be the solutions? The communist movement also comes, and one of the most important document which was read by, and that was in the Bhagat Singh's personal books, was M.N. Roy's What We Stand For. Means the communist movement, what the communist movement stands for. He is in Kanpur when Bolshevik conspiracy case is going on. So he follows that also. There is Satya Bhakt who is writing in Hindi about communist ideas. Communist movement was one idea. It still has no roots, but because the British was so intolerant, because this is the books which my search was, that let me find what were the personal books which were, because I collected the whole library which he collected, but the very first personal book was this What We Stand For by M.N. Roy. M.N. Roy was immediately arrested and put for 12 years behind bars. So later on, similarly, all communist leaders, they were not allowed to work. It was the Meerut conspiracy case in whose support Bhagat Singh goes into the assembly. Trade dispute bill was virtually to control Meerut conspiracy case. He was working with the Kirti group. And actually he had an opportunity of editing that Kirti Punjabi weekly or monthly. And that is where we found a lot of his writings. Because the editor has run away, because there was a advertisement by the Britisher that this Kirti paper is being run by the Russian money. So he ran away. There was no editor. So Bhagat Singh and his comrade took over that to publish it. So this is continuous process. This is now when we try to see it differently, but there was a complementarity. The principle of complementarity in history has to be understood. That you have a big one against whom you are. So there are different experiments which are being taken and they are complementary to each other. And my point is, where Gandhi leaves, Bhagat Singh takes over. There is a very interesting episode because Gandhi's political journey starts from Bihar, where that Neel farmers were there, Champaran. The thing he did was that he could liberate the farmers from the British landlords, but no solution to the Indian landlords. Bhagat Singh was sent to see what is the situation by Ganesh Shankar Vidyarthi, and he found that it is a half problem done. The second half is still there. So, similarly, if Gandhi appreciates Tolstoy, Bhagat Singh also studied Tolstoy. But there is a very interesting anecdote that because first arrest, which normally we have this photograph, this was the first arrest in 1927, and there was such a heavy bail that 60,000 rupees bail was granted to him. So his father said that my friends have helped you, so now please be at home, so don't create trouble for them. So now in home, what to do? He said that because there are some peasant works for us, because his father was busy in to somebody. He said that there is some kind of accounts to be settled with them. You just take into it. Bhagat Singh has read Leo Tolstoy in those days, so he applied that. He inquired that why did you take loan? Somebody said my wife was sick and I have to spend money on that. My child was sick. So he said that when you work all the time for us, that means all your problem is our problem. So this money is not loan. So he write off that. When my grandmother used to tell that when I asked me, Hasab kar hai, that have you settled the accounts? He said, distribute this house to the poor. It is of no use. But to father he gave that argument. And I appreciate that his father said that the principle is very good. He never mind that you have wasted the money. So that is one of the. Similarly, on religion, there is another article which we have very least read. That is the question of religion and the national movement. This is an article in Punjabi. He says that let us know it from Leo Tolstoy. He tells that religion has three layers. One is philosophical, where people don't have any quarrel on that. And another is a human core, empathy and meeting. So that core is basically common man's religion is that ethics of it. Now, where the communalism start is when you get into ritualism. So that is which is a very important. So my point is that he has studied, and then more questions started coming. Like the communist movement is not moving. Let us take the reality. But what to do? And then he says that the very first thing is after reading history of Russia and Italy and Japan, all youth movements, there is a lot of discussion which we have now found, and that is his first political action was to establish the Naujawan Bharat Sabha and Student Union. And the argument he gave was that first of all, we must have the cadre to take the message to the farmers, and it is okay that farmers and workers will bring the change, but somebody has to go with a message to them. So that force until is not there, it will not automatically come. And that is his first contribution.